The Irene Taylor Trust has a special place in my heart. It was one of the first musical programs that I joined at the start of my musical journey. I've met so many like-minded individuals that I'm still in contact with today, that we literally encourage each other to keep pursuing our passions. And also it's a place of growth, of assurance for me, and it's been a blessing to actually still stay in contact with them and also help out as a support facilitator and continue to meet people who were where I was when I first started. And I've loved the whole process and I can't wait for what's in store.
One of the first projects I ever did, and it was at HMP Risley, and the thing I remember being blown away by was that the group of men seemed to be working in complete harmony, like musically, to sculpt these like fantastic songs. And the performance that was so assured that some of the audience were in tears. For me, I think the most important thing about ITT is that it gives men and women a chance to be like seen and heard. And I think that's all they want.
I have grown from the 16-year-old who walked into St Mark's Church totally out of my comfort zone as a Making Tracks participant. One of the things I've really valued about ITT is the opportunities I've had as I grew as a person and progressed in my life, even when I was still working out what felt best. I'm sure Jake and the wider team have filled out more job references for me than is really fair to ask them to, but I have been really grateful for the stability and consistency that isn't always easy to source, and it has resulted in me finding my feet and establishing a career. ITT inspired me to continue moving forwards, utilising my lived experience and finding what works for me that I can sustain, and I've never been made to feel bad about asking for support. It's an honour to be involved with the Trust 11 years later and to be able to contribute to the future of the ITT as a trustee.
I did a Christmas show that I really did enjoy. I loved it quite a lot, playing with other musicians. It's a really good opportunity. I really enjoyed it. I liked it that much. When I got out, I got in contact so I could, be a part of it. So we did another session, 4 days. That was really good. I learned quite a lot. It's been very good to me, and it's got me back into music again, and I love playing. And we're doing like sessions, and we're going to do another show. And I really do love it, and I rate it to anyone who wants to start off after they've been in prison. I thank them very much. Thank you.
One special moment that springs to mind was, it was one of the first projects I'd worked in, so a while ago, but we were working in a female prison, and one of the participants came in and brought a letter that her mom had written, and they were just really simple words, kind of saying, I'm watching the weather, hoping tomorrow will get better, and I can't wait to see you. And we were able to use those lyrics and actually word for word turn them into the chorus and the main part of the song. But what was beautiful about it, even though it was something really significant to one participant, actually the whole room could resonate with the feelings, with everything that was being said. And there was just a real special moment with that song where everyone felt connected to it, and almost it felt like their song. And almost those words just worked with everyone in the room, and it was just really beautiful.
Hi, I'm Eden Rose, and a fond memory that I have with the Irene Taylor Trust is Sounding Out creative project, where I got to bring my sound therapy equipment in and create a meditative track.
I've been working with the Irene Taylor Trust for over 20 years, and I've enjoyed countless unforgettable moments. One that jumps to mind now took place in Chicago, actually quite recently, in 2023. I was in a recording studio with a woman called Margie, and we were recording a song that she and I had written to honour her son Jonathan, who she'd tragically lost to gun violence. Our wonderful vocalist called Leah Dexter had brought real tenderness and enchantment to the song, and Margie and I were sitting on the couch in the studio together, listening to Leah's performance. Margie had her eyes closed and her head was tilted to one side, and she said to me that she saw herself standing on a beach in the shallows, with the water lapping at her feet. And she said that she was feeling the warm sun on her skin. And she finished painting this scene by saying, "I can feel him with me now. Jonathan is here with me now."
Hi, I'm Kittia. I'm the Projects and Progressions Coordinator. And there's been so many highlights and special moments from ITT projects that I thought I'd choose something recent. Yesterday at one of our Meet Up and Play sessions, which are our monthly jam sessions with our Sounding Out cohort, we had someone new join the band, and he brought along lyrics that he'd written before, and he started reading them into a mic, and then he started rapping them. And after a while, the whole band joined in, improvising the keys, improvising the bass, improvising the guitar, until we had this incredible song drafted in just a few minutes of collective listening. And I think that shows what ITT is all about: creativity, inclusion, and making something magical in a short space of time.
I first heard about ITT in 2023 after quitting my job and looking to get back into music in a way that felt gentle and forgiving. The King's Trust advertised a programme called Making Tracks, and I joined immediately. For me, ITT is like a room with infinite doors. I have been able to take part in further programmes, meet musicians who have helped me grow as a person and as a creative, and take part in creative programmes outside of ITT as well. It was a welcome respite from the daily stresses of life and allowed me to fall back on my feet and search for new and exciting avenues. I think ITT is adaptive. It could be a stop on the train or become a more permanent fixture for people whose journey might take a little longer. It has definitely shaped my life in the past 2 years alone. My highlight would be the first Making Tracks project I was part of, because it has spurred on so many other positive changes and reinvented my perspective on music making and what it means to be an artist.
I remember a project in a prison where the band was working on a new track, and I was working with this guy who wanted to play some piano on the song. So, the band was rehearsing, but we'd positioned ourselves way back from the piano because he seemed a little bit nervous and wanted to talk about things going on in his life before getting on to the piano. Periodically, I kept suggesting maybe let's move a bit closer to the piano, which we did, but he still needed to talk about things. The band was still rehearsing, and half of my brain was trying to listen to the harmonies and potential piano lines that I could give him, as well as listening to what he was saying. After about 20 minutes, we'd edged ourselves close enough to the piano for him to be able to reach it, but he still wanted to talk. I managed to show him a few things to try, and eventually he got to the point of daring to have a go at playing. So this just showed me that, for some people, it's a huge step to be part of something, and they need the time and support to feel confident enough to take the leap. From that point on, he was really happy, and it went really well, and he'd found his way in.
Being part of the Irene Taylor Trust means the world to me. They've really helped rebuild my confidence, which in turn has helped me believe in myself again. When you've had experience of the criminal justice system, it can sometimes feel hopeless, but taking part in projects like Sounding Out and creating and writing songs I'm really proud of has helped me move on from the past and look towards a brighter future, a future I can be proud of.
I remember my first ever prison project with the ITT and just being so impressed by the range of genres that came out of this one group, this one band, and this one guy who'd been really, really struggling with his mental health and didn't really engage for the first few days, and then stood up and wrote and performed this incredible song. And on the morning of the performance, he didn't turn up, and we were all really gutted because he'd had such a kind of transformation throughout the week. And just as we were getting to where we were going to perform his song, he came through the door, and the whole room everyone was just like whooping and celebrating. It was a really special moment.
We pushed ourselves to do our very best, and in doing so, we pushed each other. Thanks to the staff and the Irene Taylor Trust, we had the opportunity to come together through music and making tracks.
ITT has become such an important part of my life ever since I first worked on a project over 10 years ago. The fact the Trust is still going strong after 30 years just shows what an amazing organisation it is. I've got so many memories, but for me the magic is in the transformation we see in people over the course of a project. So often we meet people on a Monday morning who are understandably nervous, unsure about what's going to happen, and whether they really want to step out of their comfort zone in the way we're asking them to. But just a few days later, they're on stage, singing, fronting a band, or playing an instrument they've never played before, performing songs written by them about their lives. The impact it has on people's confidence and self-worth amazes me every time.
So the question was, special moments, highlights, and things I'm proud of. To be honest, there are so many incredible experiences I've had with ITT, huge laughs, some really poignant moments, and everything in between. I've seen so many people try things for the first time and watched them succeed. I've heard thousands of amazing songs and the joy that's come from creating them, and I've supported people when things get difficult, then seen them find their confidence and turn things around. But the thing I think I'm most proud of is that we're still here and making a difference in an ever-shifting and sometimes unfathomable world. Working with everyone at ITT is just amazing, and it makes me happy to know that even though there's still so much we can do, I feel really confident that we can be part of the solution, supporting those we work with to find their voice and help them to get their stories out there for others to hear and to learn from.
The Irene Taylor Trust changed the trajectory of my mental health. It gave me confidence and made me feel like I was part of something bigger, a community, and it allowed me to receive guidance and authentic mentorship and care from both the staff at ITT and also other instrument tutors. I'm really grateful for the experiences both in the Making Tracks and the Young Producers projects. It feels like it's allowed me to grow into myself as a musician and with optimism for my future, not based on past events. The encouragement from all staff has been incredible, and I genuinely feel like the charity is quite a magical organisation. Happy 30 years ITT, and thank you so much.